to get nuts! Come on! Let's get nuts.
Hello, my trigger happy friends. My name is Stevie Cade, and last week I took to Twitter and asked you guys what review series you wanted me to do. I give you the options of Batman, Superman, Pirates of the Caribbean, or Die Hard, and Batman won the bill, and Die Hard got no votes. Won't be doing Die Hard anytime soon. Unless you want to request that on my Patreon, the link to that is in the description below. But before we dive into this review, if you could, hit that subscribe button and the little bell ding thing so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Grab your keyboards, head down to the comments section, and let's review Batman. Having witnessed his parents being murdered as a child, millionaire Bruce Wayne now fights crime in Gotham City disguised as Batman. But when a deformed madman called the Joker seizes control of Gotham's underworld, Batman is forced to face this ruthless villain while protecting his identity and the woman he loves, Vicki Vale. This movie has a very special place in my heart because I went and saw this in theaters when I was like 7. And in 1989, we had never seen a Batman like this on screen. The only on-screen Batman we had was Adam West, which was fun. That was fun. But it was time for something new, and Tim Burton gave us that Batman. But there are some issues with this movie, but before we get into that, let's jump into what I like about this film. The opening title sequence. This brings so much nostalgia for me. Just rewatching this, I just felt that same magic I felt when I saw it in theaters, and pretty much every time I watched this movie since. I love how the camera just navigates through the bat symbol that's cut in the stone. And we are introduced to the instantly iconic score given to us by Danny Elfman, who was at the top of his game when this movie came out. The score is fun, mysterious, and it has a very haunting quality to it. Much like Batman and Gotham, it really sets the tone for the rest of the movie. Now, this is where I would play the Batman theme for you, but YouTube has been very strict on its copyright rules lately and has demonetized a lot of my videos, so instead you'll get this. I'm done. Thanks, YouTube. And then we were brought into the first scene where we're kind of faked out with what I thought was the Wayne family. It's a family leaving the theater, going down the alley. It's the Waynes. We're going to get an origin story. That's how this movie draws you in. But wait, there's more. It is not an origin story. In fact, it is not the Wayne family. This family gets mugged. Then we are immediately introduced to Batman.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
So we get kind of the best of both worlds. We get the hint at an origin story, followed by instant Batman action. What a great way to start off this movie. It's a solid opening coupled with the title sequence. You know exactly what kind of movie you're in for. You're set in the tone, you're interested, you're drawn in, and you're ready for the rest of the movie. The city of Gotham is a character in this movie, not only through the narratives of its political figures. A little shout out to Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent. What could have been? But also through the set designs and cinematography. The city itself becomes alive through the Gothic structures that kind of peer over the people of Gotham, are giving us the illusion of something lurking in the distance. No matter where you're at in Gotham, you always feel like you're being watched. The Batcave, another character in this movie. Batcave has its own attitude, which most Batcaves do in almost every cinematic universe, but this one is particularly special to me. It's the caviest Batcave we've seen. It's like it resides in a fault line. There's no top or bottom. It just seems endless. Like if somebody found this place by accident, they would probably just die there from starvation unless Batman found them. They'll probably just die. Now, the story. This is a very fluid story. Everything flows together very well. There aren't too many subplots, MacGuffins, or filler stories that fluff up the movie. Every subplot interacts with each other pretty well. It not only keeps you engaged in the story, but also with the characters. Which brings me to the characters. Robert Wall as Alexander Knox. A genuinely fun comic relief. He's not over the top, so through his reporting, we understand just how mysterious and scary Batman is to the common people of Gotham. And again, he's a genuine comic relief, giving me 2 lines that make me laugh every time I watch this movie. Number 1 being,
I mean, look at this mirror. Maybe it should be Bruce Wayne.
I don't know. It's cheap. It's cheesy. I laugh at it every time. And then the other one where they have a person playing Bob Kane, you know, the artist who created Batman. There's a character in this movie named Bob Kane who is an artist for the paper, and Knox straight up calls him a dick. Some people would say that's distasteful and even disrespectful. I think it's funny. I think he meant it very playful. And then we have Lieutenant Eckhart. He's the bad apple of the police department that takes bribes and gives misinformation to Commissioner Gordon. Essentially, he's Harvey Bullock with a different name. Not sure why they didn't just call him Harvey Bullock, because that's who he is. He represents the corruption of the Gotham Police Department. Then there's Elisha Hunt. She is the uncredited precursor to Harley Quinn. She's not only Joker's woman who he mistreats and doesn't respect, but much like Harley, he manipulates her and uses her as a physical art experiment.
Jack, you said I could watch you improve the paintings.
I'm in trouble now.
Why is she wearing a mask?
She is a living work of art.
She is a very important window to show us just how cold Jack Napier is and how much worse he becomes as he regresses as Joker. Though one little thing I did notice is that she doesn't have an accent at the beginning of the movie, and then she has a major accent towards the middle of the movie. I don't know why that's a thing, but which brings us to Jack Nicholson as the Joker. This is the Joker through and through. Obviously, in this day and age, we have many different variations of the Joker that we can pick and choose which one's our favorite. To me, this version of the Joker has a little bit of each element of that put into one. And rewatching this, his Joker is way better than I remember. Like, I've always liked his Joker, but again, you know, in a world where we're oversaturated with Jokers, older version like Jack Nicholson can get lost in the shuffle. Which is why it's good to rewatch these movies, and which is why I'm happy to rewatch these movies and rediscover what makes his Joker that top shelf level Joker. We not only get his origin story, but we also see him slip more and more into madness as the movie progresses. And Jack Nicholson's performance is riveting. We get to see his broad range of acting, and there's actually one scene in particular, which is my favorite scene. You get to see how broad that range is, and that's the scene where he's in that meeting room at the long table with the rest of Grissom's men. He starts out with this calm mobster attitude, and it escalates very quickly into an insane full throttle Joker.
We can't do business, why? We'll just shake hands. That'll be it. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, I got a live one here. Oh, there'll be a hot time in the old town tonight.
The use of him applying skin-colored makeup to hide his real skin is such a clever addition to the character. And I'm sure when this movie first came out, it pulled the rug under a lot of people's feet of what to expect from this character, because you would see him with the messed up smile, "I have taken off my makeup." He's very deceiving, and he uses that so you don't really know what to believe from Joker, which is very Jokery. Expect the unexpected from him. But by the end of the film, we see him completely immersed in his Joker mentality. He's lost his mind and his grip with reality. He doesn't really have a clear plan at the very end of this movie. He slipped that much into madness. And some would argue this is an inaccurate depiction of Joker, but for what this movie was trying to depict, this finite Joker story, it does work. And I do like the addition of Joker being the person who killed Bruce Wayne's parents. I think that is a very important element to this Joker. It ties Bruce Wayne and Jack Napier, Joker, and Batman all together with or without the makeup or masks. I think that's a very important aspect to have. So continuing with the characters, I want to segue into what I'm on the fence about with this movie. And some of you might argue with me on this. A lot of you might argue with me on this. Heck, I argued with me on this. But hear me out. Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne and Batman. What I do like about him is his Bruce Wayne. He's less brooding, he's more comedic. You know, he's actually got a sense of humor in this movie, but Michael Keaton definitely brought a charismatic, fun way to Bruce Wayne. But his version does lack some pivotal Bruce Wayne elements. But this is 37-year-old me watching this. You know, 7-year-old me watching this had no problem with this Bruce Wayne. He was just fine. But now that I'm older and I've seen, you know, deeper stories, richer stories explaining into Bruce Wayne's integrity, that is very much lacking in this movie. And that continues on with his version of Batman. He's pretty much the same with or without the bat suit. There is no Bruce Wayne and then Batman. There's Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like Christopher Reeves did a great job playing Clark Kent, and then he was also Superman, not Clark Kent as Superman. This is where Michael Keaton's performance kind of gets watered down for me, is because he doesn't separate the characters. They're both Michael Keaton as the same character. One's wearing a bat costume and the other one's wearing a three-piece suit. So like that's really the only difference. His version of Batman is not really intimidating beyond his own mysteriousness. The stories of the Batman outweigh his actual presence in the movie. But that's going deeper than what this movie intended us to do. That's the way we look at these movies now, because we've gone so deep into these characters, we forget to draw it back for a movie like this that wasn't trying to explain that version of Batman, which is why I'm on the fence with it, because I do see its problems through the lens of somebody who's studied Batman through the many cinematic versions we have of him, but I also see where I can just sit back, relax, and just have fun with this Batman as well. Michael Gough as Alfred. He is the motherly figure to Batman more than anything else. This is a truly beloved version of Alfred, but that's because there's not anything else about him. We get what we see with him. He's there to pick up after Bruce, fix things for him, be that positive light, and try to keep him on the right path. He has no real depth, no backstory, and really no interest besides, well, being Batman's mom, which is a very key element I think Alfred should have, but not the only element Alfred should have. Definitely one note in this film. Kim Basinger as Vicki Vale, a beautiful young photojournalist who shows major interest in uncovering the story of what is Batman. She falls in love with Bruce, becomes the damsel in distress, and does absolutely nothing else. I mean, she has a career, right? She seems to have abandoned her career by the end of this movie for no other reason than she knows Batman, or met Batman, kissed Batman, I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed her presence. I mean, Kim Basinger does a great job playing Vicki Vale, but the character herself is very shallow and only used as a plot device to keep the story moving forward and to give Batman something to lose. One of the very few elements of this movie that wasn't hashed out very well. And that relationship between Bruce Wayne and Vicki Vale brings me into what I don't like about this movie. I don't buy into their love. Their whatever that is they have, I don't buy it. They had one night where she got drunk and Batman pretty much took advantage of a drunk chick on their first date. Yeah, he was sober.
I feel a little drunk. And you're not anything.
Hey, one drink and I'm flying.
That's all they had. Now Alfred is trying to get Bruce Wayne to marry her, reveal to her that he's Batman. He even brings Vicki Vale into the Batcave. You don't know this woman. She is a reporter. What are you doing, Alfred? What a weird thing to do. Commissioner Gordon. Worst Gordon ever. He has no relationship with Batman. He doesn't seem to know what's going on in his city or his department. He's a tool, and he's part of the problem. But we like Batman now because he fixes things that we should have. We're letting Batman do our jobs. That's pretty much their relationship. Commissioner Gordon is having Batman do his job so he can continue shooting craps or whatever he does. What does he do? What does he do in this movie? Another thing I don't like, please don't hate me, but hear me out, the use of the Prince music. I love Prince just as much as anybody else, but I'm not sure why they chose Prince to be a pivotal part of the score, or I guess not score, but a pivotal part of the soundtrack. It just doesn't work with the feng shui of the movie. I'm very aware that Prince songs are just randomly playing here. As a matter of fact, one of the only scenes that Prince does make sense for when they're in the art gallery. But after one Prince song, the rest were just, nah. And a little side note with that museum scene, this clip hurts my hand every time I see it. Oh. What is the mayor's obsession with this damn parade? Okay, listen, I know it will bring businesses back to Gotham. You clearly state in your own argument for the parade that people will come back to Gotham once Grissom is behind bars. That should be your main focus, putting Grissom behind bars. This parade ain't gonna do nothing. And then when there's a huge threat on the city where Joker goes on television and tells everybody he's gonna dump $20 million, the man who released chemical warfare on the entire city by putting chemicals in random products that deforms humans and murders them, says he's going to do something big at this parade, and you don't want to stop the parade because of people or something. Get this man out of office. Take him and Gordon and get them away from Gotham City. They are like the biggest problems with this city. Now, this next thing I'm going to say is more of a petty point. But at the very beginning of the movie, during the opening scene, why does Batman just watch this family get mugged? He's literally just watching them get mugged, and he takes care of the criminals after the fact. But we see him watching them in that little weird, obvious cartoon thing.
Hey, lady, do the kid a favor. Don't scream.
I don't know. Being a little petty there. Back to the review. Joker's origin in the fight at Axis Chemicals. Why are the police opening fire in a chemical plant? Why does Gordon want Jack Napier alive? Why didn't they just wait for Jack and his goons outside? Why didn't they fish Jack's body out of the vat? How did Jack get outside of the plant? This whole scene is a pivotal part of the movie, and I feel was very mishandled, and a lot of it was there just for fun, actiony stuff. But a lot of sequences that happened within this scene just didn't play out right to me. And there's one more thing I'm going to point out. Again, this is more of a petty point, but it's always bugged me. Every time I see it, I can't figure it out. Maybe you can help me. Why is there one single bat in a cage?
They're great survivors.
What did that bat do? Is that bat being punished for something? He is forced to stay in this cage while all the other bats are free to roam around in their huge crevasse of a Batcave. This one poor little bat is stuck in this cage. Despite all his rage, he's still just a bat in a cage. I would play the song, but you know, YouTube. But overall, this is a very fun Batman film. It was a very new cinematic take at the time of its release. We had never seen a Batman like this before. Although revisiting it, I realized that it's not as rich in the character development as I had hoped it would be. It's still a very fun family film. Something you can sit down with the entire family, grab some popcorn, watch it, and have a good time. And for all those reasons, that's why I'm giving this movie a B+.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Let me know what your guys' thoughts were in the comments below. Did you like this movie? Do you think this movie is a little outdated? Or did you just hate this movie all around? I really want to hear what you have to say about it, so let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to check out some more of my videos right here, and as always, stay trigger happy, my friends. Peace.
I'm glad you're dead. I'm glad you're dead.